Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Samantha Leighanne and I talk about books. So today I have a giant, huge, way too many books book haul. This is a combination of Christmas gifts, gifts I bought myself before Christmas, and some things that I bought myself post-Christmas with Christmas money. This is not including a book outlet haul that will probably be coming in the next week or so. However, I decided that I was just gonna wait and do that Book of the Month and Nocturnal Readers box all at the same time. That will be later in the month. I'm also really tired of having these books sitting on my kitchen table and I need to get them worked into this, which is the other reason that I'm doing this. So let's just jump right into books. This first little section is from Silverfire Books. I've talked about them before. Link is in the description below. The Song of Achilles. This is by Madeline Miller. It's so shiny. It's so shiny. I have seen really good things about this. This is a retelling of Achilles and Patroclus. I'm assuming that I'm saying that name right. You guys know how this goes. Anyway, it is a retelling of Achilles and Patroclus, and it is a gay retelling from what I understand. So I have heard really good things about this. Really excited to read it. The next book that I picked out is The Serpent King by Jeff Zettner. I have not read anything by this author, but I have seen a lot of talk around this book and how good it is. I have also seen a couple of people talk about how much they don't like Jeff Zettner, but I have been told that the poverty rep in this is actually really good. And the people that I have seen speak highly of this book are people that I really trust their reviews. I believe that this is YA, but anyway, I've heard such great things about it, so excited. And the next two, hi, hello, you'll see this author a few more times, and that's Mr. Stephen King, picked up from a Buick 8 in hardcover. Haven't read it. You guys know what's going on with my Stephen King collection. So another one, Dolores Claiborne, also in hardcover edition. So the next two I got from Barnes Noble. The first one is this really beautiful copy of Jane Eyre. This is probably one of my favorite classics of all time. This and East of Eden are probably neck and neck, but it's super, super beautiful. It's got this really soft, like fake leather cover. The inside pages, like, I think that this is beautiful. And the other thing that I picked up because I saw it, and I have had this on my Goodreads like to read shelf for forever because I saw it and thought that it looked really good. And I'm also trying to read more nonfiction, and that is Cleopatra Alive. This is by Stacy Schiff. It was like bargain section for $6, so I was like, yeah, we'll just go ahead and snatch that up. I have been told that this, though it's a biography, it is nonfiction. It does read like a fiction, which is my favorite kind of nonfiction, to be honest. So I think that this will be good. And this next one was just a gift that I got myself from Amazon because I wanted it, and that is the Six of Crows duology box set. I read the entire Grishaverse trilogy in the month of December, and I really enjoyed it, and I have been told that this is even better, so I am really looking forward to reading this. So the next section are Christmas gifts from my husband. And full disclosure, I went to the bookstore with him and I actually picked these out and just handed them to him, but he did get me one book that surprised me. He told me that the reason that he picked this out was because he knows that I like both of the stories and he likes one of them. He got me this beautiful edition of 1984 and Animal Farm by George Orwell. And so I was really excited to see this because I do own a copy of 1984. I did own a separate copy of No, I never owned a copy of 1984. I had an e-copy. I have an e-copy of 1984. So I don't own physical copies of either of these books, but they are another two of my favorite classics. He ordered this before we went on our bookstore excursion, which you'll see the other things that I got from there in just a second. And this was actually at the bookstore that we were at. And I was like pining over it. I wanted it so bad. And then I was like, but I've read both of these books. I really kind of want to go with books that I haven't read before. So I ended up passing it over. So I just thought that that was the sweetest, that my husband got this and it was something that I really wanted, but he didn't know it. But yeah, I think that this is beautiful. It's going to make a beautiful addition to my classic shelf, which is actually out of the frame. Yeah, so these next 4 books are Christmas gifts that I picked out for myself. The first one is After Alice by Gregory Maguire. I don't really know what this is about. I know Gregory Maguire really likes to kind of put spins on classic books. He did the Wicked series, This one, I think I have another one upstairs, and there's a couple about like ugly stepsisters, and I saw this on Bargain and I was like, hey, why not? The cover itself is actually really beautiful because the actual cover, this is this really, really thin paper, and then the actual hardcover is a map of, I'm assuming, wherever this takes place. So yeah. The next book is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I mentioned this book in the video Books I Want to Read in 2018, or Series I Want to Start rather. Series I Want to Start in 2018. And so now I have a copy, so I have no excuse to not read this book. Yeah. I don't know why I'm like resting my head on these books. It just feels like the right thing to do. The next one in this section, this is the one that I'm probably the most excited about, and that is The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. This is the second book in the Bear and the Nightingale series, and I read that in December and I loved it. It was so good. So I am so excited to read this. I have already seen some people reading this and they have really liked what they read, so I am really excited about this. And the last gift I got for myself for my husband to give to me is this beautiful copy of Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, however you say her name. Doing a buddy read for this month. By the time this video goes up, we'll be in the midst of this book. But it is me, Jess and Christina from Game of Tomes, Julie from Pages and Pens, Krista from Books and Jams, Nicole from Who Picked This Book, and her friend Jen. But I will make sure all of those channels are linked in the description down below. Absolutely love all of those ladies, so if you're not subscribed, you should go do that. But this will be the fourth time that I read it. Third or fourth time, I do not recall, but I really love this book. I haven't read the rest of the series. We've talked about that. I'm excited to read it again, and I'm excited to read it with people that are excited to read it and to see what they think of it. So, all right, so the next section of this is the section where I went to Second and Charles, which for those of you that are not familiar with Second and Charles, it is a secondhand bookstore, and they sell a lot more than books now. They do like game systems and vinyls and all kinds of stuff. But it's been a while since I've been over there, and I had some Christmas money to spend. So I'm really excited about what I got. I walked out of Second and Charles with 10 books, and I only spent, I believe, $60. So 10 books for $60 is pretty good. And the way that I do Second and Charles is pretty much I wander the shelves. That's really the only way that I can do it. First thing that I always do is I go to the Stephen King section because we've talked about it. That's always the first section that I go to. And then I just start from A and go all the way to Z and just kind of see what catches my eye, because since it's a used bookstore, you never really know what's going to be there. Okay, so I picked up Queen of the South. This is by a author whose name I am not going to pretend to try and know how to pronounce. And from reading the synopsis, I'm pretty sure I am correct, but there is a show on, I think, USA or TNT or something like that called Queen of the South. It's about drug cartels and that kind of thing, which for some reason I have just find myself really interested in. But the book itself has high reviews, so I am looking forward to reading this and then maybe watching the first season of the show and just kind of like comparing that. So the next book is Waiting by Ha Jin. I'm assuming that I'm saying that right. I have never heard of this author. I don't know anything about this book, but I scanned it on Goodreads. It had high reviews. There's a National Book Award winner sticker on this. One of my goals for the year is to continue to read diversely like I did last year and really widen that even more. So whenever I saw this and the reviews that it had, the fact that it won an award, it was a no-brainer. Went ahead and grabbed it. One of the little back blurbs is from Lisa C. And it says, a remarkable love story. Ha Jin's understanding of the human heart and the human condition transcends borders and time. Waiting is an outstanding literary achievement. This is a love story. I believe that it takes place in China. I don't know much more aside from that. I don't have very many authors on my shelf from China. I do own several things by Anchi Min that I have read and some I haven't read that I hope to get to in the coming years, so this will be a nice addition to that. And I got a second book by this author, and it is The Bridegroom, which also had really high ratings, and I believe that this is another contemporary love story. Oh no, just kidding. So this is actually a collection of short fiction, 3 of which were included in the Best American Short Stories, and it takes place in contemporary China, the setting of Waiting. So, and you guys know that I love short stories. This is gonna be great. Hi, hello. Got another Stephen King here. Blaze, it's one of the Bachman books. I was really happy to grab this one. The stickers that they actually print on the books tell you the date that they actually came into the store. This had come into the store on the 23rd, so it hadn't even been a full week yet. I was real excited to snatch this one up. The next one that I grabbed is The Tiger's Wife. This is by that person. That's who that's by. Don't know much about this, but I have seen it highly rated. I've seen people say good things, so got another one for you. Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon in hardcover edition. Same story. Pretty sure that it probably came with the other book, Blaze, but it's in really good condition. Read this one, loved it, happy to add it to my collection. And this is an author that I mentioned while I was talking about Hajin, and that is Lisa C. I picked up Shanghai Girls. So this is a story of two Chinese sisters who are basically given away as brides to American men because their father gambled away all of their wealth. And so they head to America. This takes place right as Pearl Harbor is happening. And the two girls are best friends and are kind of separated, moving to a new country and those kinds of things. So I've heard excellent things about this book. Looking forward to reading it. The next book that I picked up was Night Film by Marisha Pessel, and I have already read this book, but I listened to it on audio, so I didn't own a physical copy, but I really loved it, and so when I saw it, I wanted to grab it. The other reason is because even though I listened to it on audio, this is a book that is written kind of like mixed media, and there's pictures and that kind of thing, and so I definitely feel like I missed out on that because I listened to it via audio. So I want to go through, reread it, and really get the full effect with the pictures and the media and things that are included. So next book is Dead Letters. This is by Kate Dolan Leach. This is actually a Book of the Month edition, which I did see a few Book of the Month editions like in Second and Charles, which I was a little bit surprised about. But this book, I've seen a couple of good things about. I almost picked it one month because this was for March 2017. I almost picked it and I just didn't. I don't recall why. So whenever I saw it, I was like, oh, you belong to me now. And the very last book that I'm going to talk about is another Stephen King, and it is The Green Mile. I do have this in paperback. We know what's going on with the hardcovers. This one has a little bit more damage than I would like for it to, especially because it is a white cover, so you can kind of like see everything. You probably can't see it, but I can. But it was still in relatively good condition. It was cheap, so I snatched this sucker up. So this is kind of my post-holiday book haul. I think the total was, so I know that was at least 20 books. I know I have more that I'm going to be getting in, plus my birthday. And that's probably going to be one of the last book hauls that I do for several months. But that is all I have for you guys today. If you have read these books, comment down below. Tell me what you thought of them. My social media links can also be found down below. So if you don't want to comment, you can get at me on Twitter, Goodreads, whatever. As always, if you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you click thumbs up or hit subscribe if you have not already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.